We need to suffer. Life does not give you energy. Life does not give you energy. So anytime you're asking for life to be easier for you and life to give you energy, don't ask for that. You're BSing yourself. Life does not give you energy. You give energy to your life. It took me a very long time to sit and realize this. Every time that I'm asking for things to happen to me and things to happen in the world, for my life to get easier, you are the person who makes your life easier. You are the person who makes your life easier. You are the person who provides energy into your life. A lot of the times I've gotten stuck with myself and I've gotten stuck in my own head. I've gotten stuck in this overthinking loop. I've gotten stuck with anxiety. I've allowed myself to get stuck. You see, as people and as human beings, what we need to come to terms with is the fact that not only do we provide energy to our life, but we are the ones who are forcing ourselves to stay in a state of being or stay in a state of anxiety or stay in a state of depression. We're the ones who are allowing ourselves to be that and making that choice. Now, you can disagree with me as much as you want to, but you put yourself in a position for either success or failure every single day. When I used to work at Target, when I worked at this job, this 9 to 5 job, I put myself in that situation. Why? Because I wanted mental comfortability, mental safety, to know that I was getting a fixed income, to know that I was getting income every 2 weeks, to know that I was getting paid every single 2 weeks, to know that I didn't have to worry about money. But what that did was that created actual problems in my life outside of work. What that did was that gave me these issues that I never had, these issues that were depression and anxiety and caring about people at the job and caring about people who did not really care about my own being and did not really care about my own life. I provide the energy in my life. I create the life. You create the life that you want to live. When I worked that 9 to 5 job, I genuinely thought that the people there cared. I genuinely thought, just because I cared, that they would too, but that's not the case at these 9 to 5 jobs. That's not the case with many people in our lives. You provide the energy of your life, you provide success for yourself, and you can also provide failure for yourself too. You have to realize that you are in control of your life. You are in control of your life. You are in control of your life. Nobody else dictates how you're feeling. You dictate how you're feeling, and you dictate if you're going to allow other people's views and other people's perspectives control yours. For a long time, I allowed what people thought, and I allowed what other people think to control my life. And what that did was it allowed me to feel comfortable because I was comfortable with that familiarity of knowing that it was familiar for people to tell me what to do. It was familiar for me to people please. I got my way in currency. I was able to know that every 2 weeks I was getting paid, but mentally I was struggling. Mentally, I felt like things were always going to be bad and things were always going to be a certain way until I woke up and I realized that you are in control of your life. You don't have to do anything. You're not supposed to be anything. I was talking about this with my girlfriend the other day. You're not supposed to be anything. You're not supposed to go somewhere. You're not supposed to feel a certain way. The only thing that you are supposed to be is yourself. The only thing that you are supposed to go through is what you choose to go through in your life. And let me admit, there are some things we don't choose to go through. We don't choose to be put into environments. We don't choose to feel certain ways sometimes. And we didn't have a choice to be brought here. And even our parents sometimes didn't make the choice to bring us here. That's a harsh truth. But now that we're here, once you're able to come to terms and once you're able to have a state of consciousness that you know that you're here, you can make the choice to live or be a certain way. And it's your choice to keep going through things. It's my choice and it's our choice if we're going to keep going to a job that makes us feel upset or depressed. Nobody's telling you that you have to do that. And if you're focused over getting money, then that's sickening because at the end of the day, when you die and you're in a grave, money doesn't matter. You're dead. So what did you live for? When I left my 9 to 5 job, I said, what am I choosing? Am I choosing money or am I choosing my happiness? I'm choosing my happiness. Because as much as I could say money will temporarily make me feel a type of way, money does not, in the long term, make me feel good. Other people in the long term aren't going to make me feel good. I make myself feel good and I determine how I'm feeling and I determine the happiness that is in my life. Life does not give you energy. You give energy to your life. Now, a lot of us say we don't want to suffer, and I wrote this down so I have to look. Suffering is the true origin of consciousness. Let me say that again. Suffering is the true origin of consciousness. Let's think about this. Suffering is a good thing. Now, we don't want to suffer, and we don't want to feel negative things, and we don't want to feel suffering. But like I said here, and I have to read it off because I'm not going to fully remember that the way it's supposed to be said. We need to suffer because suffering is how we know we're truly alive. We need to suffer because if we're not suffering, we don't know that we're alive. Suffering is the world telling us, and God telling us, and the world telling us. Suffering is the world telling us, hey, you're alive and you're a human being. Now we can work and move through life like NPCs and like computers and say, oh, I'm just going to go to this 9 to 5 job. I'm going to wake up, feel depressed and not acknowledge why. I'm going to go to this job and I'm going to do these things in this formulaic manner. But that is suffering. That's not living. Going to a job, going to a 9 to 5, listening to what people say, people pleasing, that's not living. That's suffering. And once you wake up from that suffering, you can't go back to sleep. And if you try to go back to sleep, it's like forcing yourself to sleep during the daytime. It's going to be very difficult because you're not supposed to be doing it. There's a time for that. There's a time where we need to suffer because without suffering, we're not truly alive. And once you realize that you're suffering happens for us to realize that we're here, and we go through pain to realize that we're human. We control our lives, and we control the suffering, and we can't control, let me stop that. We can't control some of the suffering that we go through, but we go through some of that suffering to realize that we're here for a reason. And every single person and every single human being is here for a reason. We were not all put here for no reason. We were not all put in this life for no reason. Life does not give us energy. Life is just this energy field. Life is this field that we have to put energy into to make sure that we know that we're conscious, we're alive, and we're here. Life does not give us energy. We put the energy into life. And once you realize that, you can't unrealize it, and you can't unlive it, and you can't unfeel it. We put the energy into life. So stop looking to others to provide energy for you. Stop looking to people at a job to give you validation and satisfaction. Stop looking to family members, to parents. Stop looking to people to give you that validation. Once you wake up, you can't go back to sleep. Once you realize that you're letting people control you in your life and you're letting what others think control you in your life, once you wake up to that, once you realize that, you can't go back to sleep. So stop allowing what people think of you. Stop allowing validation. Stop allowing all of these things to control your life. Life does not give you energy. People cannot give you energy. And the energy and the things that life gives you, it's only temporary. It's only temporary because you as a human being are going to keep growing, and you as a person are going to keep acknowledging and keep living and keep going. So life and people cannot provide anything for you. They can't provide true happiness for you. The only person, the only thing, the only substance, the only energy that could really be provided to you that's going to make you feel like you're really truly living is yourself. You give energy to your life. Life does not give energy to you. Wake the hell up. Wake up. It's time for you to wake up.